The opinions expressed are those of the program host and guest and are not those of WSTU. WSTU does not endorse products that may be mentioned. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast is strictly prohibited without written consent of WSTU. The phone lines are open. Call in with your questions and comments at 220-9788. That's 220-WSTU. It's time for Stuart Laser Talk with your host, Dr. Tred J. Rizacker.
I'm 5'10" and 242 pounds.
I always say this is the biggest I'm ever going to be, and I said that like 20 pounds ago.
A third of Americans are obese, another third is overweight.
Obesity is the biggest threat to the health, welfare, and future of this country.
I've always been overweight.
I've got diabetes.
Sleep apnea, heart disease.
Everything's hurting now.
It's a lot easier to lose weight than it is to keep weight off.
This is probably going to be the first generation of children who are going to have a shorter life expectancy than their parents.
18% of our children right now are obese.
It's not only health, it's about survival and well-being of the United States as a nation.
You don't crave broccoli, and our generation has grown up craving a Big Mac.
I want to think that there's something better for me.
Unless we're able to control this epidemic, we're going to have an abundance of chronic disease.
All of us have to be part of the solution to reduce obesity.
The weight of the nation is out of control, but we can fix that.
If we don't now take this as a really urgent national priority, we are all going to pay a really serious price.
Obesity will crush the United States in oblivion.
Good morning. My name is Dr. Tred Rizacker, and I am a licensed doctor of chiropractic, and I want to welcome you to another edition of my Slim Body Laser Spa Health and Wellness Show. My program can be heard right here on WSTU 1450 AM every Tuesday and Friday from 9 to 10 o'clock. My weight loss center and whole body rejuvenation center is located in Stuart, and I have been providing a safe, sane alternative to surgical liposuction procedures for over 6 years. We have a saying at the Slim Body Laser Spa that anyone who still considers surgical liposuction as their first option is really stuck in the year 2004 and earlier. At my Slim Body Laser Spa, my low-level laser services are FDA cleared as safe, and they actually release the stubborn fat naturally in a series of 9 sessions in 3 weeks. The inch loss results are the same day and does not require any sacrifice of downtime, does not involve any pain or swelling, and can be utilized by all ages from 18 years old to 95 years old. We can help people lose unwanted fat and reduce waist sizes regardless of how much fat there is, regardless of your so-called slow metabolism. We specialize in those people who have failed at weight loss before, or those people who are eating good, exercising often, but are just not able to get results in specific pesky areas like arms, muffin top, back fat, or thighs. Since each case is specifically overseen by me personally, I can handle many different people with difficult situations. Things such as type 1 or type 2 diabetes, persons with breathing conditions such as COPD or asthma, or those who cannot exercise for one reason or another, or people who just need help getting started on a better plan for weight loss and or body sculpting. So my discussion today is how my laser-assisted weight loss system is being used to help us to remove and melt away stubborn fat pockets, stubborn fat deposits, excess belly fat, arm fat, back fat, bra bulges, muffin tops, double chins. You get the picture. You can get faster, high definition, and amazing results with body fat reduction and body sculpting by using today's modern lasers. They are literally designed to melt the fat away while you lie on your back and listen to music. I mean, it really is that easy. There's absolutely no pain, there's no discomfort, there's no harsh dieting, and no strenuous exercise necessary. In 9 sessions in 3 weeks, most of our clients, and we're talking over 4,000 here, will lose 3 to 9 inches measured in 3 places around their midsection, 1 to 2 to 3 inches in their upper arms, 2 to 5 inches in girth with some skin tightening in thighs, and we can also tighten those buttocks. My phone number is really easy. It's 1-844-DR Slim Body, Dr. Slim Body. I'm located at 2311 Southeast Ocean Boulevard, and that would be in the Carmela's Pizza Plaza next to Carmela's and right across the street from the Fresh Market. I'd like to give a shout out to all the different support and people from the Stewart Martin County Chamber of Commerce, to Lisa Titor and Kelly and Amy Pearlstein. They were just fantastic this weekend. We were at the Martin County Fairgrounds for the Orchid Show, the Home and Garden and Orchid Show. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of wonderful orchids. I mean, Martin County must be just the place for orchids.
Yeah.
Is it the climate?
I don't know.
Is it the area, the way that they grow? I think orchids grow all over the world, but they sure have a concentration of them here in Martin County.
For sure.
They have some orchids that look so bizarre. They look like blood vessels.
What?
Yeah, like a massive angioma that was dissected out of a person with vascular disease.
Yeah.
They got red and blue, and it looks just like arteries,
Wow.
with little flowers on the end of it. Beautiful orchids. And if you're there's something about an orchid which sets you apart from plants. They're almost like they have personalities, and they have different ways of growing. They seem to, some of them just grow out of the air. Some of them grow on the side of trees. You see small ones, you see large ones. But the Orchid Show is great, and we just wanted to thank the Stewart Martin County Chamber of Commerce for being so wonderful and having events like this. I had heard several people that were at the fair who, were people that put in fences, people that redid roofs, people that were window installation companies comment that they had signed up some people, and that the economy in Stewart and the Martin County area is booming when it comes to construction and remodeling. Lots of people from up north walking through. It was wonderful. So thank you to the Martin County Chamber of Commerce, and anything that they put on or event I highly recommend. So you're listening to Slim Body Laser Spa, and my name is Dr. Tred Rissacker, and I am the owner. And not only am I the owner, but I'm a client of my own laser services. I believe strongly in the program. It is a solution for pesky, stubborn, fat, which does not respond easily to diet and exercise. We've all know what it takes to lose weight. I mean, you see it, you read about it. There's as many books out there for losing weight and diet programs as there is for, of different models of cars. I mean, there's just thousands of books. South Beach Diet, the Cabbage Diet, the Mediterranean Diet, you name it, the Atkins Diet. And they all have one thing in common. In order to lose weight, you have to eat less calories, right? And exercise more. They all are disguised as caloric restriction and moving more. And there's nothing wrong with that. Believe me, it is absolutely essential for losing weight. But there's another factor. I call it the hidden X factor. And that is when you move on in your life and you're starting to get up, past 30, 40, 50, and all of a sudden you start to, I call it the thickening.
The thickening?
The thickening, right? We become thick. Our midsection becomes thickened. Our chest, becomes thickened. You see it in people. And you can really, I know I can judge a person's age and their level of health by the thickening. You can see it. And now it becomes much harder to lose that, to get the thinning back, to start getting the slimming from the thickening. And that's where this laser is a superstar procedure. The laser does not require that you understand how it works. It doesn't require that you know anything about it. It doesn't care if you're black, white, tall, skinny, have fat, don't have, it's non-prejudice. It doesn't have any distinction. It's a laser and it works on everybody the same. Of course, your ability to metabolize those calories and burn them as energy is where we help. Not everybody can burn fat at the same rate. So there's some tricks and techniques we use with whole body vibration, and we use detox supplements, very safe, gentle products, drinking more water, cutting out some of the toxins out of your food, and results are almost guaranteed. And we love helping people who have, we hear it all the time. I've never been able to change my body. I've never been able to lose weight to change it before until I found this procedure. Why isn't this up in New York? Why isn't this in California? Why isn't this available in my homes? And I don't really have a good answer because it sure works well here in South Florida. Mm-hmm. And I went and did the laser myself. And that was in December of 2012. I had I like to say I was fat. I was hopeless. I had failed at weight loss in several ways. I tried the belly injections. I had tried juicing. I tried the South Beach, the cabbage diet, the cookie diet. I joined several gyms. And, results are tough. They take time when you start exercising. And I don't really like going through that painful phase, that restriction phase, and realizing, God, I'm never going to be able to have a pizza again, ever. And then, all I have to do is think about that for a couple of days, and I'm back to eating regular food again.
Yeah, you slip in.
I slip back in. And the laser really, really gave me the chance. It gave me the energy to do it. Hey, listen, I lost 12 inches in 4 weeks. I recommend 9 in my office, but I did 12, and I went from a size 40 to a 36 waist in 4 weeks. My goal was to lose 10% of my body fat, so I continued to eat a diet that was low in refined carbohydrates, which I'm going to go over today. I'm going to go over nourishment today in my second half of the program. So please stay tuned in. It's very important, my nutritional lessons. And then I ate less for 3 months and dropped 10 pounds a month to drop 38 pounds. And I kept it off. Mike, had your own result?
I did. I went to the procedure a couple of years ago, right before my wedding, lost 6.5 inches in 9 treatments. I looked like I did when I first graduated from high school, when I was this tiny rod of an individual, and then I put on my freshman 15 and my roommate's freshman 15 and my girlfriend's freshman 15. I put on everybody's freshman 15 in college and blew up. And I finally dropped all that back down in time for the wedding, thanks to the Slim Body Laser Spa.
Yeah, so you got 2 testimonials here, and we have a caller waiting patiently online. Her name is Michelle, and I know you'd like to share your story, Michelle. Thank you for calling.
Hi, Dr. Tread. Hi, Mike. How are you both?
Oh, I'm good.
Excellent.
Excellent, exactly. I love when my clients, patients, friends call up to share their results. So I saw you yesterday. You were so excited to call today, and we're glad to have you here. So go on.
Thanks so much.
You got the floor.
I've just finished my 3rd week at Dr. Tread's wonderful Slim Body Spa, where his wife Juan is in charge of the program too, and does such an amazing job. And I have to say that all of my expectations have been more than exceeded. And I went into this program a little skeptical, as Dr. Tread knows, but hopeful that but hopeful it was going to work. I've
just
tried
about
so
everybody's
many
skeptical
things.
when they come in.
Well, I've tried and failed so many times over the last few years, and going through menopause and the change of everything in your whole body just suddenly, as Dr. Tread said, thickens, and you do everything. And unfortunately, my metabolism is such that I bulk up when I do strength training, and yet the fat just stayed there. So I wasn't seeing results that I was looking for. I didn't want to bulk. I wanted to get thin. So when I talked with Dr. Tread, he explained how the system works. I won't go into detail on that, but it sounded like it might work for me, and he had a guarantee, so I figured, what else can I do but try, and hopefully this one won't fail. And I told him, I said, this one can't fail. I don't want my money back. I want to get thin. So after 3 weeks, I've lost 7.25 pounds from my inches from my midsection, and I've lost little over 2 inches from my thighs, and I am excited enough about it that I'm going to go for another few weeks to try and even do more. But I am I am a new one-over person. I'm such a proponent of this. I think what is so awesome about it is that I can now continue doing strength training and cardio, and I feel motivated now, like Dr. Tread said, that I don't want to go back and eat pizzas every day. I don't want to go back and say, it doesn't matter what I do because I'm not going to lose weight anyway. And I'm losing weight. That's the other thing, is for the first time in years, Juan is me on a program where I'm being held accountable. She's helping me understand what I should be eating when. My metabolism has been explained to me, and it's working. I've also lost 8 pounds since I started.
Wow.
In just 3 weeks. And, it's not hard. I'm not hungry. I can't say enough about it. Thank you so much for that.
Oh, I'm getting all choked up here in the radio. You can see me. I know, and it's I thank you for that. So let's go over these results. So 7.25 inches in your midsection, and that would be if we divide that by 3, so that's about a 2-inch circumferential shrinkage, right? Small.
It is quite noticeable, yes.
And it's quite noticeable, right? And it's around the midsection. It's spot. It gives you that shape back. The waist
it
spot,
does.
Right?
I suddenly have a waist showing again.
Exactly.
It's amazing.
Now, the 2 inches on the thighs, the laser was applied to your thigh area. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
And you lost 2 inches on each one. That's fantastic.
That's
and has anybody noticed? Do you have anybody in your life to notice?
I have had people notice. My husband obviously noticed, and my daughter-in-law. We went to dinner with her the other night, and she said to me, she said, I can't tell what's different. You just look so much younger. I don't know what it is. And I haven't told anyone else other than my husband I'm doing this. I don't, it's not something I'm just out talking about. So I just accepted the compliment and just smiled to myself because, it's obviously something's different. And I can just feel the momentum that I can make this work this time. I feel like I have a positive energy moving forward.
That's great. And you know what else I really like about it is you didn't have to sacrifice any body parts, any swelling, any chance of infections or pain. And the results are within 3 weeks, right? You're only in your 3rd week, correct?
Exactly. I have had a few friends who've done the invasive lipo.
Yeah.
And watched what they went through, the months and months of recovery and the drainage and horrible after effects. And then, of course, as you'd explained to me, their fat cells were changed. So then when they did start to gain weight, it went to weird, different places, which does not happen with this. So I felt safer about that.
Yep. And you know what else I think people really appreciate about the Slim Body is nobody likes to not have control over their life. Nobody wants, I'd rather fly in an airplane than take the car. But when I get in that plane, I know I have no control over what's going to happen.
Exactly.
And when you go into liposuction and medical procedures like these cool sculpting, you don't really have any control of getting better results. It's kind of, you're totally dependent on that procedure and the doctor. And at the Slim Body, we give you a lot of other choices. Not choices, but you can control where the laser's put, the results you get. You can get more here, less there. And also when you start eating better and getting these other tips, that has a lot to do with why you got where you were. People appreciate that. They appreciate being allowed to be part of it. Does that make sense?
It does.
The pilot isn't going to want to hear from me in the back that I think he's coming in at too steep of an angle. He's just not. He's going to throw me in the back, sit down, shut out. But and when it comes to plastic surgery and things, really you're so vulnerable to the skill and the procedure. Here, you can make changes, you can get feedback, the staff can, people appreciate that. And,
Exactly.
and I think that's important,
I think, too, the energy level increase that I've seen in the last few weeks has been just overwhelming. I can't believe how much more energy I have.
Yeah, well, that's part has to do with the whole body vibration and the fact that 1 pound of fat is it requires a mile of blood vessels to support it. So the heart is pumping harder, and your energy is being utilized, to maintain that. Now you have energy for life again, for being more active. So that's great. Yeah, and it was really great talking to you yesterday, and I knew I wasn't. Sometimes when you see people, you're like, oh, I hope they're doing good. I didn't look at all your pictures and stuff, and you were doing great. That's great.
Thank you so much.
Yay! So you would definitely recommend it.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Sounds good. Anything else?
Just thank you. Thank you both. Thank you and and all your staff who are amazing. I always feel very welcomed, and it's just such a friendly, great place to go. So thank you very much.
It's definitely a jewel in the city of Stuart and town of Stuart.
Yes,
all right. We'll see you soon. Thank you for your testimonial, Michelle.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
We've been doing these testimonials for so long here, and it seems like you're not going to find too much new ground to cover with testimonials anymore. But I felt that was a new one. You could very clearly hear the emotion in her voice, and it's one that I know I can relate to, and I know that there are plenty of people out there who can relate to it as well, because we wrap so much up in how we look and how we feel and things like that. And I know for me personally, there's that feeling of shame and sadness and things like that, not because of how I want other people to interpret me, but how I want to look at myself. You have the vision of who you are, and then you see yourself in the mirror, and those two don't often match up.
And let's face it, extra weight makes you tired. It makes your body systems not work as actively. You're not able to get out of the chair as easily. You're living off of carbohydrates, so your energy levels are suffering. Right? It isn't really that I don't like the way I look. It's I feel like crap.
Well,
right?
No, for me it was I don't like the way I look.
But your energy was low. I know, because that's what's happened to me. Is at least when you get into your 50s and 60s, that's what happens. The weight takes its toll. It starts to hurt your feet. You're on, your knees become sore. Your back is sore. All the injuries you had as a young person, you're still in your 30s, so you don't have that. It's more of a look.
No, that's not. I'm saying that there's the element of you want to be this person of who you think you are, and then weight can have a way of making you realize that's not who I am, and I need to do things to change it. And you can go through these diets and severe exercise and go to the gym and do all these things, and the results, if they come, are very slow. And I'm talking, you can diet and exercise for months and years and not see the changes that you see in 3 weeks at the Slim Body Laser Spa.
That's absolute.
So
I 100% agree with that.
To be able to struggle for years and then go through the Slim Body Laser Spa and see those results that you've been striving for so long, that's an emotional moment. Yes. For sure.
Absolutely. I've achieved in my past as a young doctor. I graduated when I was 30 years old and took over my dad's practice in New York. And I tell you, the only thing, I look like my father. I can imitate him to the T. And the only thing I had to do was answer the phone. Mm-hmm. There was no marketing involved. There was no, promotion. I just, I took over his spot there, and I showed up for work, and I answered the phone, and the results, was very successful. And then I opened up another office in New York as a joint venture with a medical doctor. A lot of success. Nothing has made me feel as successful as losing that weight about myself, about how I feel day to day. And for me, that weight, I was not, it wasn't really I don't really feel that physically I don't look attractive. I'm not depressed over that. It was my energy. I was suffering with this fat. It was affecting my happiness, my health, my ability to do the things I like to do. I remember going diving. I'm a certified scuba diver, and I remember realizing that the wetsuit that I had I couldn't fit into it.
Yeah,
I looked like a I looked like a sea, like a manatee. You know, I went to bend over with all that gear on down to just adjust my fins, and I would lose my breath.
Mm-hmm.
That's how that weight was affecting me. It would affect me if I had to run, you know, if I needed to do something that required a sustained exercise. I'd be winded so quick I couldn't believe it. It would take me days and days to acclimate to snorkeling where I could hold my breath long enough to go down 20
feet. Oh, absolutely.
And all of these things were coming as a result of that weight. Now, when I was I didn't really have much weight in my 30s. I started to get heavier in my 40s. And then only until I was about 50 did it really become where I was, you know, becoming unhappy with it. It was affecting my blood sugar. It was affecting my, my ability to exercise, to not be pooped. I was napping during the middle of the day. I'd fall asleep driving. You know, I'd be sleepy. I have to pull over and sleep. This is what weight creates in people. And losing those inches and cleaning up my diet and realizing, you know, staying away from this carbs changed my my metabolism, and the laser and all the program that I had put in for my clients and for myself, it really changed my life, you know. And it's wonderful to hear somebody like Michelle who calls up and literally found a solution to a very, very difficult problem. And, you know, it doesn't matter how much money you have or the success you have. If you don't know what we know, if you don't come in, you know, it's really hard to be successful at this. I see people that are very successful and they're having weight problems. You know, they're on medications, their blood sugar is elevated, and they're literally eating themselves into death. And you see it, and you know that they're successful people. They wouldn't have the house that they have or the beautiful car. And, well, of course, we work right across from next to Carmela's, you know, a big restaurant. And restaurants, you know, people come in to eat. And they roll out of the car and they roll back into the restaurant and they roll back into the car.
Yep.
And life's got to be more than eating and drinking. It's got to be more about energy and stuff. So thank you, Michelle, for that testimonial. If you're interested in a consultation with me, please give my office a call. We're located at 2311 Southeast Ocean Boulevard. That's right across from the Fresh Market, next to Carmela's Restaurant. I have an easy number. It's 844. It's toll free. 1-844-DR Slim Body, Dr. Slim Body. That's 1-844-377-5462. Go online. We're very available online. I got a lot of web presence on there through YouTube, through Twitter, through the Instagram account, and my Facebook. Also, we're there with my new website. It's Dr. Tread Slim Body Laser Spa. And there's some great videos there. You can see testimonials. You can make appointments. It's just, you know, there's no reason not to be able to come in, you know, to come in and find us. So I'll be really, really looking forward to meeting you. So what we're going to do is I am going to give you a crash course on nutrition over the next probably 10 minutes. We're going to take a little break real quick, and then when I come back, give me like 10 minutes to 15 minutes to go over some basics of nutrition. And this is common sense. It's called The Law of Nourishment, and it comes from a book called The Rays of Dawn. It was written back in the 1930s. But these laws of nourishment do not change, and nobody puts it together better than Dr. Fleet, in my opinion. So it's about 4 pages. It summarizes all the different food groups, and it explains how they affect your body, and it's not like the food pyramid. It's really, really makes a lot of sense. It's about foods which build tissue, foods which lubricate, foods which nourish you, foods which tear down and repair and eliminate toxins. You know, that's part of life. Life is building tissue and tearing things down, and the foods you eat have a lot to do with that. And if you're eating too much of one of these groups, you're going to become sickened from it. So this is a really, really important 15 minutes that we're going to go over here right when we come back from break. So
Now back to Stuart Laser Talk here on WSTU 1450. And back to your host, Dr. Tred J. Risacker.
Nice. I love being in South Florida. Hey, I'm driving yesterday in the car, and there's a couple next to me in a Mercedes, top down, in their 60s. And you could see they were just taking in the beautiful low humidity yesterday with the sun. And I rolled down the window and I said, "Isn't it great to live in South Florida?"
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah!" They scream out, "Yeah, we love it." It is so true. I mean, this place is paradise. I love being in South Florida. Hey, I went to Martin County High School since 1979. I've been here a long time, and I still think it's paradise. Okay. You're listening to the Slim Body Laser Spa. My name is Dr. Tred Risacker, and yes, I am really a doctor. I have licenses in New York State and the state of Florida. Been in practice for 30 years. I'm having my 30-year anniversary, holding licensure. And
awesome.
A long time ago, my dad, Dr. Risacker, had gotten involved with a group called Concept Therapy. And concept therapy is a chiropractic technique of how to adjust people and how to get better results from chiropractic services. And what Dr. Fleet had found out is that people were missing very important parts about health. In other words, you can't really build a strong house unless you have a good foundation. You could have a wonderful bridge, but if your pilings aren't strong with a good foundation, it's very difficult to have a strong bridge or a good house. So, if you're suffering with health problems as you're listening to this presentation and you're listening to me on the radio, if you're on medications, you're on blood pressure medications, you're on diabetes meds, maybe you're on different things for sleeping and for, pain, please pay attention because, if you're not conforming to these basic foundations of health, it's really hard to be healthy. And Dr. Fleet and my father and me as a chiropractor have learned that when somebody is struggling with a health problem, sometimes you just got to get back to basics. The things you learned in kindergarten, people, and what would that be? Food, movement, rest, and staying and sanitation, basically not poisoning yourself. These are the 4 basics of the body. They're called laws of the body. Now, once you've handled the law of nourishment, the law of movement, the law of recuperation, and the law of sanitation, then you have a shot at being healthy. You got a chance, right? Then you got genetic issues, you got emotional issues that come into play, you got, accidents that happen. There's other things that can make you sick, but if you're not eating proper foods, if you're not nourishing your body properly, your chances at maintaining health are really harder, Let's be honest, you know. You wouldn't do that to your car. You wouldn't put crummy gas in your car and expect it to work properly. Yet we put devoid and devitalized food in our body and expect our body to be healthy. You know, the law of movement. You got to move. You know, life is movement. Death is not movement. If you're not moving and you're not exercising and moving your joints every day, it's really hard to not have arthritis and not have back pains and all the other things. All these musculoskeletal conditions really come from sitting on your butt, for not moving. And then there's the other one called the law of recuperation. Now, recuperation means getting enough sleep. How many people don't get enough sleep? And the other part of recuperation is having time to do hobbies, is having things that take your mind off of work so you can have a better balanced emotional makeup. You know, hobbies are important, people. I mean, having, you know, whether it's fishing hobby, whether it's golfing, whether it's reading books, you know, knitting, gardening, these things are really very important for humans to be healthy and happy, you know. Do you agree with that? I mean, the recuperation and that's part of is sleeping enough, getting enough sleep.
Well, you know,
sleeping when you're tired. Who doesn't sleep when they're not tired?
It's really funny the when I personally came to realize how important sleep was, and I'm sure that a lot of other people probably figured it out in an easier way than I did. But I used to see it in all the diet books. You know, I'd read the diet books and try all these different things and the science behind losing weight and all that stuff, and they always mention the importance of sleep. But I didn't want to get. I've got things to do. I wanted to be
shows
able
to watch.
Shows to watch.
Gotta
things
see
to
the
do.
last part of the Game of Thrones.
So I always resisted getting the amount of sleep that I actually needed, and for whatever reason, it didn't get hammered into my noggin until I was watching Hard Knocks, of all things, on HBO, where they follow around a football team, and they were talking with J.J. Watt. And he talked about how he basically sleeps nonstop. And he brought a cot into the team's practice facility to make sure that he got enough sleep during the day. And he was going to sleep at 8 o'clock at night and getting 10 hours of sleep a day because he said that's what peak performers need to do.
He's tearing his body down. He needs to rebuild it. You rebuild at night.
Yeah, and for whatever reason, that helped drive it home. And ever since then,
good.
I try to get a lot more sleep, and it's a noticeable difference.
Okay, that's great. So that would be one of the laws of these 4 physical laws: nourishment, movement, recuperation. And the 4th law is that of sanitation. Now, what the heck does that mean? That means cleaning, having a clean body. Now, we understand the importance of taking showers, right?
Yep.
Why do we do that? So we don't stink? So people won't be offended by us? Well, do you know that if you don't shower like every 3 days, your skin releases toxins and poisons, and that's what builds up in your body will actually start to absorb those toxins back into the system.
Oh.
So that's why we get this body odor. It's really bacteria that are on our skin. So we understand the importance of cleaning and sanitation, but do we take the same effort to what we put on our body? Are we as concerned about cleanliness on the inside as on the outside?
No, I doubt it.
So that's one of the laws of sanitation. You cannot put toxins into your body for any length of time in any kind of repetitive manner, not suffer consequences from it. So that's a summary. So I'm going to go over the law of nourishment. I don't want to run out of time here. I promise this. So hear me out. So growth is the inevitable corollary of the undisturbed operation of nature's laws. In other words, nature's laws allow us to grow. There are 4 immutable physical laws which nature demands that we obey. You know what immutable means, Michael? You can't break them.
Okay.
All right? They're physical laws. These are physical laws that nature demands we obey. The physical part of every human being is governed by these 4 great laws, namely the law of nourishment, the law of movement, the law of recuperation, and the law of sanitation. And we're going to go over nourishment here today. Much has been said and written concerning the subject of food and the problems of diet. Every living organism requires food for its survival, for its sustenance. We have to eat food. Even the simplest vegetable cell takes nourishment and replaces its waste products by fresh material taken into the system. Thus, guided by innate intelligence, the plant absorbs the food that is essential for its growth and development. grown in a soil and climate conducive to its well-being, nature produces the finest specimens of plant life known to man, right? It does. On the other hand, if the plant is grown in a soil that is impoverished and devitalized, the plant then adapts itself to its environment, and we have a corresponding degenerate specimen, right? You put a plant in bad soil and bad environment, and nature does its best, but the plant becomes devitalized. It becomes degenerated. Only when allowed to grow and develop in its true natural environment can the perfect specimen be produced. Thus we find manifest in the vegetable kingdom an intelligence that's expressed through natural law that guides and controls the growth and the sustenance of plants. Why are we talking about plants? Because plants is where it was all began. The world was covered with plants before the humans were here, and then these principles were proven over time. So having evolved to a higher state of consciousness than the plant, the animal's taste and appetite is guided by instinct. An animal is allowed to roam in its free and natural state is a perfect specimen unless attacked by some outside destructive force. Animals, the way they eat. He secures his food in its natural form, eats only when the animal's body requires nourishment. And thus, unmolested by the touch of man, we find, or reason, which is what man does, is thinks about things, we find the animal in all of its perfection. Man, in his primitive state, was directed to a great extent by his instinct in selecting food and satisfying appetite. As man began to use his new gift, reason, which is the difference between men and animals, let's be realistic, is our ability to ponder things, to think about things. Man started to cook, preserve, and concoct his food. Started to change it. He began to tamper with nature's product. And as a result, man destroyed much of its original nutritive value. Do you understand that? If you take broccoli and cauliflower and eat it in its fairly natural state without overcooking it, eating it raw, it's full of enzymes and fiber and really good things. If you overcook it, if you bake it, pulverize it, soak it in cheese sauce, put preservatives in it, and sell it as a package from Jolly Green Giant cauliflower, broccoli, and cheese product, it no longer has nutritional value anymore. It's been concocted, it's been destroyed. Okay? And that's important to understand that, because most of the foods we eat at one point were very healthy for us. And over the idea of Stouffer's food and Jolly Green Giant food and packaging and all these things, we've destroyed the nutritive value. So consequently, man's digestive system has become degenerated. Your digestive tract becomes degenerated, and food has become deficient in the elements essential to the sustenance of his body and the maintenance of your health. The foods are devoid of vitamins and minerals and fibers nowadays. Only natural food can properly nourish your body. But the man of today is far from the perfect natural man as he was in the Garden of Eden. He has disobeyed the law of nourishment so long that he does not have perfect digestive organs. Our digestive organs have become, disorganized and non-functioning because we've been disobeying the law of nourishment for so long. They have degenerated, and due to improper food and wrong living, therefore, the law of nourishment must be so modified that it will pertain to man as he is today. How's that for a preempt of maybe you should pay attention? This is probably one of the leading causes of health issues and disease and degenerative conditions and low energy and short lifespan. It really does kind of come down to food. I mean, this is what we need to eat. The average human will eat, I think it's over 50 tons of food in their lifetime. That means that they put on a plate, they put it into their mouth, they chew it, they digest it, they assimilate it. 50 tons in one lifetime. That's a whole lot of food. Okay? So I hope you're making better choices. So I'm going to present this law of nourishment today. But before I can do this, I have to differentiate between dead, devitalized foods and live foods. Okay?
Okay.
That's the two main classifications when you're eating for health. Is it a dead, devitalized food, or is it a live food? Now, what do you think is the difference? Dead foods are those that have been cooked, preserved, or tampered with so as to destroy some or all of the original vitamin mineral content. All right?
So like taking a piece of broccoli like you were talking about and boiling it.
Overboiling it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then preserving it, putting different chemicals in it so it doesn't, decay.
Okay.
And then soaking it in sugar and cheese sauces, which are cheese products which have food dye and coloring in it. Right? I mean, nobody wants. I even saw oranges the other day at Publix, and it said that these oranges have been dyed to be orange. It had a sign on it.
I love orange dye number 12.
And I'm like, what is, but people won't buy them if they don't look orange.
What's the dessert cherry, maraschino cherries? They do the same thing with that.
Yeah, it doesn't soak into the orange flesh itself, but it's a way of getting you to buy oranges. Anyway, so we're going back, devitalized foods. Any food that is not in its natural state. Now, live food, on the other hand, are those that come to us as grown by nature. It is necessary that some foods be preserved in cans, but the fact remains that if we can get natural food, we should use it in preference to the unnatural. So let's not be heretics. If you can get live food, natural food, it's preferred over canned food and frozen foods as it goes down the degradation line.
Okay.
Right? I mean, I can tell you this, vegetables which are frozen are a lot better than vegetables that come in a can. They have more nutrients. They were flash frozen. Some of the nutrients have been preserved. A lot of time, the canned vegetables and things like that, they've lost a lot of they have to put things in them to make them last longer, preserved, and they're devoid of more vitamins and minerals, nutrients. Okay? So that's very important to know. The following analysis and discussion of foods I'm going to go over here with will include both dead and live food. In order to arrive at let's also talk about this. Do you think meat is a live or dead food?
I mean, the animal's clearly dead.
Correct. So that's not a great. You need to do that, and I'll go over that exactly. You need to do that in moderation. These dead, devitalized foods.
Okay.
Now, I'm not pushing for a complete vegan diet here, but it is kind of telling you that.
Right. It's definitely pushing you in that direction.
It's good to eat things that are alive versus dead. So the following now, in order to arrive at a proper understanding of foods, their nature, their relationship to each other, and their function in the human body, it is important to classify foods into certain classes or groups. So we're going to have 4 classes here, and I'm going to just really quick go over these classes. The first class are foods that build the body. You want a food that builds the body, and that's going to be your proteins. Building foods include nuts, avocados, milk, eggs, dried peas, dried lima beans, mushrooms, kidney beans, lentils, butter, cheese, fish, fowl, chickens and turkeys, beef, pork, lamb, and all other flesh foods. These are the foods that build the body. They help you build muscle strength. That's the first class. The second class, these are foods that tear down, repair, and eliminate waste material from the body.
Okay.
And what do you think that is? They always want to eat 3/4 as much of this food as the building food. So your building food is your proteins and your meats. You want to eat 3 times more of the foods that tear down, repair, and eliminate waste as the meat. And that's going to be your fruits and vegetables. Okay? So what are they? Everyone should have some of this food with all of your meals. That means the eliminated foods include the following fruits: lemons, limes, grapefruits, oranges, pineapples, peaches, cherries, apricots, plums, apples, pears, blackberries, raspberries, strawberries, cranberries, currants, cantaloupes, melons, watermelon, tomatoes, and all other fruits. except bananas.
No.
No banana. Banana is a builder. It's too much, doesn't clean the body. The second group also includes the following vegetables: celery, spinach, lettuce, carrots, asparagus, Swiss chard, onions, beets, peppers, peas, cauliflower, cabbage, string beans, artichokes, and all other vegetables except avocados, beans, and potatoes. So avocados, potatoes are starch, and peas and dried beans are proteins. So they're not eliminative foods. The last three contain too much starch and are not eliminative foods. Avocados contain protein and fat and are classified under foods that build the body. Are you getting with me now?
I'm a little stunned at the banana and avocado.
Well, get used to it. The water used in cooking vegetables should not be thrown away. It contains the mineral salts. Drink it as soup.
Quit
throwing
soup?
away the water when you boil vegetables. Drink the soup. Yeah, mix it with a little chicken bouillon and have a little vegetable soup. Those are all the good minerals. You're throwing them out. Okay? Third class. Sweets and starches. Sweets and starches. Their function in the body is to prevent oxygen from remaining in insoluble combinations with minerals during energy release. What does that mean?
I don't know.
It makes fat. Do not eat an over amount of sweets and starches as they cause congestion. They cause congestion, sinus problems, breathing difficulties, fluid in your lungs, mucus, congestion. Starches include Irish potatoes, sweet potatoes, all breads, all cakes, macaroni, noodles, spaghetti, flour, gravies made with flour, anything, Michael, made from flour, all cereals, and old corn, believe it or not. Corn degenerates into sugar. That's why they make corn syrup. The sweets include all sugars, bananas, which is why they're considered, a sweet starch, pumpkin, squash, honey, molasses, dried fruits, all candies, all gum, all soft drinks containing sugar, all canned fruits, sugars, jams, jellies, anything containing sugar. And remember, these prevent oxygen from being into your body. It's not a good thing. Do not eat an over amount of these. The fourth class is the build and lubricating class. These include all the vegetable oils, olive oil, butter, and fats. These foods build and lubricate. If one is too thin, he should eat freely of these foods. If too fat, you need to use them sparingly. All right, so those are the four food groups, the four classifications. You got your builders, the proteins. You got the foods which tear down, repair, and eliminate, which are your vegetables and fruits. You've got your sugars, sweets, and starches. And you got the builder, the lubricators, which are your oils. Now, if you're interested in trying to understand it, here's a couple things. Most people eat too much starch. That is the reason we have so much sinus trouble, constipation, colds, asthma, coughing, colitis, and diseases of congestion. Many people eat too many foods that form acid. That's why we have so much arthritis, rheumatism, aches, and joints. Hey, if you like what you hear, come into the office. We'll see you, and I can go over it with you. Thank you so much. Have a great day from Slim Body Laser Spa.